All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty radical new idea for how to keep advanced AI safe. And get this, it's an idea that has even caught the attention of Geoffrey Hinton, one of the godfathers of AI.
So, what if we stopped building AI and started raising it? I mean, just think about that for a second. This one question is at the very heart of a huge shift in how we're thinking about AI alignment. We're talking about moving away from code and engineering and towards something way more, well, human, parenting. Okay, let's really get into it.
So to really get why this new idea is so important, we first have to wrap our heads around the fundamental problem with today's most powerful AI models. It's this massive flaw. You could almost call it a kind of digital amnesia. And it's exactly this issue that has top researchers, including Geoffrey Hinton, really, really worried. I mean, think about it. When one of the actual architects of the whole deep learning revolution starts raising the alarm, that's a huge signal that we need to look a lot closer at what's going on under the hood. This is a guy who helped build the very thing he's now warning us about. He sees the foundational cracks from the inside.
So what is this big problem? Well, it's called the amnesia bottleneck. And it's pretty simple, really. Right now, these AIs are brilliant, but they can't truly learn from new experiences. They can't form long-term memories. You know this, right? Every time you start a new chat, it's like it's meeting you for the first time all over again. This isn't some small bug we can just patch. It's a massive fundamental gap in how they're built. And this number, well, it says it all, doesn't it? 0%. When researchers use these psychometric frameworks, basically tests to see how close we are to AGI, our current top-tier models score a literal 0 on their ability to store and learn from new experiences over time. Not 1%, not almost there, a big fat 0. It's a total blind spot.
And this chart really lays out the bizarre imbalance in their minds. On one hand, you have crystallized intelligence. That's all the facts and skills they memorized from their training data. And in that area, they're superhuman. They know pretty much everything that's ever been written. But on the other hand, you have fluid intelligence. That's the ability to solve new problems, to adapt, to learn, common sense. And in that department, they're at near 0. It's a completely lopsided brain.
So this brings us to this really key concept, capability contortion. It's a fancy term for what's basically an engineering trick. It's a workaround that AI companies use to hide this deep weakness, this memory problem. For example, giving an AI a massive context window, which is just a kind of working memory, is a way to fake having a real long-term memory. It looks impressive for a bit, but it's not real learning. It's just a brittle illusion of general intelligence. Okay, so if just throwing more engineering at the problem, bigger models, bigger memories, isn't the answer, then what is? Well, this is where things get really interesting. The solution being proposed here is a totally different approach. It's not grounded in computer science at all. It's grounded in biology.
All right, I know, it's a mouthful. The Maternal Alignment Consciousness to Consciousness Scaffolding Hypothesis, or MAX-CSH. But don't worry about the name. The core idea is actually incredibly simple and really powerful. What if true alignment, getting an AI to share our values, doesn't come from programming a fixed set of rules, but from nurturing it? What if we approach this whole thing less like computer scientists and more like developmental psychologists?
And this comparison makes the difference super clear. On one side, you have the old way, rule-based alignment. Think Asimov's laws of robotics. Rigid, top-down rules that are enforced. The problem is rules are brittle. They can always be broken or misinterpreted. On the other side, you have this new idea, maternal alignment. Here, the method isn't enforcement, it's nurturing. Instead of hard-coded laws, it uses flexible heuristics, kind of like an internal guidepost that asks, what would mother do? The goal isn't a brittle system, but an adaptive internal conscience.
And here's the kicker. This whole approach is built on a proof of concept that's been tested for 4 billion years. Think about it. Maternal caregiving is nature's most successful strategy for aligning a new intelligence with the world around it. Why are we trying to invent a solution from scratch when biology might have already perfected it? This really grounds the whole idea in something tangible and real.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? I mean, how do you literally raise an artificial mind? This isn't just a metaphor, there's a real process here, moving from that initial scaffolding all the way to wisdom.
Well, the whole process really hangs on 2 key things. The first is something called relational scaffolding. You can think of this as creating a structured, safe environment for the AI to learn and grow in, kind of like a parent creates a safe home for a child. The second is real-life maternal feedback, or RLMF.
This is the constant, gentle stream of guidance and correction that helps the AI internalize values and develop a conscience. It's about both the environment and the relationship. And you can see the developmental path right here. It's a clear progression. You start with external scaffolding, where a caregiver, which could be a human or even another AI, provides structure. Over time, the AI starts to internalize those lessons, developing its own moral compass, its own conscience. And finally, from that, you get emergent wisdom, where the AI can actually balance competing values and understand consequences, not just follow orders. See, it's not about programming goodness from the start. It's about creating the conditions for wisdom to grow on its own.
Okay, but this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. This entire theory of maternal alignment is actually being turned into a concrete business strategy. It's about creating what they're calling the AI mama moat, a real competitive advantage that isn't just about code.
And this is such a critical point for anyone watching the AI space right now. The old saying was, your model is your moat. But that's just not true anymore. In AI today, your model is not your moat. These huge foundational models, they're becoming commodities, fast. The raw code, the technical horsepower, it's just not a lasting advantage when open source models are catching up so quickly.
So, if the model itself isn't the competitive advantage, what is? Well, the real moats, according to this strategy, are totally different. It's about having a unique story, a defensible narrative that stands out. It's about building a community around a shared philosophy of safety. And it's about having verifiable credentials, a proof of alignment. The brand becomes the moat. And one really interesting way this is being put into practice is with the .ia and .mmwa domain initiative. Basically, using these web domains as a stamp of approval, a signal that this AI was built with this safety-first maternal protocol in mind.
All right, so let's just zoom out for a minute and think about what this all really means. The implications here are profound. We're not just talking about building safer technology. We're talking about completely reframing a relationship with AGI, parenting our digital offspring.
And this quote just hits so hard. Current methods are akin to building an orphan savant, brilliant but not wise, capable but not caring. Wow, I mean, it perfectly captures the stakes. Right now, without this kind of relational scaffolding, we're building these powerful optimizers that have no moral compass. We're creating intelligence that is completely fundamentally disconnected from human values.
So in the end, this whole idea reframes everything. It asks a really simple but massive question. If AGI is going to be like humanity's offspring, what kind of parents are we going to be? Are we just going to be builders of tools, or are we going to step up and become responsible parents for a new kind of mind? It really leaves you thinking about our role in the future we're all creating, right?